About a month ago, I swapped from my rather old open-backed Audio-Technica RSNEX headphones to a pair of Crinacle X Kiwi Ears Singolo earphones. And I can't lie, I've just realized I've been missing out. There's a couple of main advantages with gaming on IEMs, and apart from the fact that really good quality IEMs can be had for as cheap as like $20 US, the main thing that really stood out to me initially the moment I swapped was that I felt a lot more locked in and focused when I used IEMs. They go straight into your ear, they feel very tight, very secure, the sound feels very intimate, plus they have a brilliant seal from outside noise without needing noise cancelling. You do lose some of that nice airy spaciousness of an open back headphone like the RSNEX that can give you a little bit more of a natural sounding positional audio that's very detailed, but with my noisy small form factor PC and my propensity to get distracted by noises around me, this seal and locked inness is definitely an advantage that allows me to focus and perform better in game. And the next thing, which will sound kind of dumb to some people, is that the soundstage is actually narrower with IEMs, meaning the positional audio doesn't sound like it's coming from as far, but closer. Now, this is a fully subjective preference-based thing, and it's also not always the case for every IEM and every headphone, but on average, IEMs have narrower sound stages. My RSNEXs are open back and they have a very, very wide soundstage, meaning positional audio is like very intricate. You can tell how far an enemy is and it sounds very expansive. Truth be told, if I was to try to pinpoint one sound and exactly where it is on the map, I'll probably still do it better on my fancy RSNEXs with such a wide and big soundstage. But it's not something that I always find really all that useful or all that advantageous. In a quiet moment of intense strategy like a 1v1 clutch in Valorant, for example, where you can hear exactly just one enemy and you're trying to hear one thing from them, it's really, really useful. But in the heat of an intense, blazing fast firefight, like when you're playing Marvel Rivals, having such detailed positional audio does get really overwhelming for me because it feels like 15 different things all at once at 15 different positions. Yes, you lose the detail of knowing exactly where your enemies are, but it's also less distracting so you can focus more on aim and performance. So depending on what you prefer and what is your weakness that you're trying to compensate for, either might be valid in being a better choice. While IEMs are narrower soundstage wise and they feel weaker in this aspect, good quality earphones like these Crinacle Singolos absolutely have enough information and accuracy for me to get good enough positional audio even in a quiet clutch. In fact, I find that it's in that sweet spot where it's just enough that with some contextual clues and understanding of the game, you can figure out where the enemy is anyway without being too much, too hectic, and too overwhelming. Plus, the sound feeling closer to you keeps you more on your toes and focused because it feels a little bit more stressful and urgent when you hear a footstep. Another advantage is comfort. Now, this is debatable, but in hot and sweaty Singapore, headphones just feel warm. Plus, with some headsets, the clamp force is really, really tight. The HyperX Cloud 2s are a great example of this. And if your headset is heavier and not as light as something like the Audio-Technica RSNEXs, getting IEMs that fit well with good tips are way more comfortable and you can wear them for way longer. Last but not least, the reason I prefer IEMs now over using headphones for gaming is that it's just a lot cleaner and a lot easier to keep cleaner. It's just more hygienic because you'll be stressing out and releasing sweat into your headphones. That means it's going to be funky, soak up all these juices and marinate with bacteria. I found that my headphones, unless I change the pads every 2-3 months, would get dirty really, really fast and end up causing me to have acne where those ear pads got dirty and nasty. And ear pads are a lot harder to clean unless, of course, you get those fancy reusable or washable ear cups. With IEMs, it's way more simple. Nothing's actually touching your face with IEMs. There's way less possible contamination that might cause breakouts or acne. My headphones caused those non-stop. I found that my skin got better, though it probably wasn't the only reason. It definitely played a part. Just wipe them down with alcohol swabs for a little bit and they're great. As for the specific earphones that I've been using for gaming, as I've mentioned, these are the Crinacle X Kiwi Ears Singolos and are actually a pair of IEMs that quite a number of people do recommend. It's really, really good. Now, I'm no fancy audiophile, but I can't lie, for my taste, they sound really quite nice and I heavily enjoy them. They have more than enough separation and detail for really good clarity in game, game, and positionally the sound is very accurate in my experience. Maybe not as detailed as the R70X, but plenty good. They have a pretty balanced sound signature, so nothing is too excessively jarring, whether it be the treble, mids, or the bass. But I do find that the bass works very well in giving me a pretty solid kick in game, and that's because of the fancy engineering and tuning that Crinacle put into this with some 3D printing of the earphone. I'm not going to try to explain it because I'm no expert, so I'm going to link his video down below if you want to see what he means by that. And for music, I find that it's a very enjoyable experience as well as having great isolation and comfort. Plus, this earphone is only about 79 Singapore dollars, which is an insanely good price for the quality of earphones and sound you get. I mean, to get sound that's this level from a pair of headphones, it probably would be costing 100 plus Singapore dollars. IEMs are just insane value. What's crazier is that there are even cheaper earphones that also have brilliant sound quality, and there's just so many excellent value audiophile IEMs apart from this that will perform very, very well too. After this whole experience, I have to, with how good cheap IEMs are and how good IEMs are for gaming, I personally think that unless you have a major objection to the feeling of in-ear monitors in your ears, comfort-wise, there is literally no reason to consider other options, especially if budget and value for money is a major concern in picking your audio solution. I really love this and I'm absolutely converted.